Good morning, Myriam.
Morning, Christophe.
The core project that we work on is about home composting and composting in rural areas. And I was wondering how home composting is integrated in the Flemish concept of closed loop gardening. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Well, yes, Christophe, I'll try. In Flanders, we give citizens a choice. Or they have their organic waste composted by professionals, or they decide to do something with it themselves and to make good use of it themselves by home composting themselves. Luckily, most of them choose for the latter choice. But of course, we notice that not all of those people have need of the compost. That's why we try to give them other options to manage their organic waste from the gardens and from the kitchen. And it's those techniques and those other options we show here at Comité Jean Pain. And it's exactly all those techniques and all those different ways to treat organic waste products that we gave a name. And that's what we call closed loop gardening.
And how long is this closed loop gardening concept existing already?
Well, this concept started in 2005. Until then, focus mainly was on the processing of organic materials by composting and the use of the compost. Since 2005, we emphasize all those other techniques, which are, for instance, alternative land management, processing of wood and branches, and also keeping animals, small livestock like chickens, rabbits.
And how many people are doing closed loop gardening in Flanders? Do you know that?
Well, in Flanders we have this very enthusiastic group of benevolent master composters, and we know that at least 41% of households do home composting, and surveys showed us that at least 1 out of 3 apply the other closed loop gardening techniques.
And Vlaco is also doing some garden tests here at the Comité Jean Pain. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Well, yes, whenever new products come on the market, Vlaco of course wants to know whether there is any added value to them and whether they're useful. And that's what we test here. So we test several of those things here. And then of course there's a lot of questions asked about the usefulness of some of those products or techniques. For instance, the use of compost starters, and also whether there is any difference and any danger in applying different types of mulch between crops and between your perennial plants. Those things are also tested here.
Myriam, you said it already a few times. We are here at the Comité Jean Pain, and here in Flanders it is a well-known concept, that committee. But can you tell me a little bit more about it? Who was that Jean Pain?
Well, Jean Pain was a Frenchman living in the south of France who needed a compost to improve the soil of his vegetable garden. So the only materials he had was branches from working in the woods, and he developed a way to turn these branches and burning into a very useful compost. So before putting it on the pile, he soaked it in water, and then after 9 months and after 2 or 3 turnings, he obtained a very nice compost to improve the soil in his garden. And it's this method, this French method, that came to Belgium, and this was at the origin of the green composting we know today. So today it sounds not a very special thing to do, but you must realize that before the 60s, wood was considered only useful to lit a fire.
Okay. Thank you, Myriam, for all this useful information, this clear explanation, and success here with your committee and the garden. Thank you.
Thank you very much.